There is something no one ever told you, and the moment you hear it, everything will make sense. Every door that closed, every bill that kept coming, every time you worked so hard and still came up empty. It was never about how much you earned. It was never about the economy. It was never about luck or timing or who you knew. It was about one thing: your words, not your affirmations, not your prayers, your everyday careless throwaway words, the ones you speak without thinking, the ones you laugh off, the ones you whisper under your breath when no one is listening. Those words, they have been shaping your entire financial life, and tonight, that stops. There is a law, ancient, invisible, and completely unfailing. A law that most people have forgotten, or maybe were never taught. And this law says something that will shake the very ground beneath you. Everything in this universe responds to its name. Say that again in your mind. Everything responds to its name. Call a child and they turn around. Call a dog and it comes running. Call a friend across the street and they lift their hand. There is something in all living things that recognizes when it is being called, something that cannot help but respond. Now, what if money is the same? What if money is not dead paper, not meaningless numbers on a screen? What if money is energy, vibration, substance with a soul of its own? And what if it has been waiting all this time for you to call it by its true name? Here is the tragedy that breaks my heart. Most people never call money at all. Instead, they push it away, every single day. With words they do not even realize they are speaking. They say things like, "I can't afford it." They sigh and say, "Money slips right through my fingers." They joke with their friends and say, "I'll probably die broke." And then they look up at the sky and wonder why nothing changes. Beloved, it is because they have been calling money by the wrong name. There is a scripture so simple and so terrifying that most people read past it without stopping. It says, "By thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." Not by your circumstances, not by the stock market, not by your boss or your background or your bank account, by your words. Your own words are either pulling money toward you like a magnet or driving it away like a frightened animal. And here is what makes this even more sobering. Your subconscious mind is recording everything, right now. Every word you speak, every phrase you repeat, every little joke you make about being broke. It is all going in, like a stenographer sitting in the corner of your mind, writing everything down without judgment, without question, without mercy. It does not know if you were joking. It does not know if you were exaggerating. It only records. And then it plays it all back as your reality. I knew a woman once. She was comfortable, well provided for. But she had this habit, this little joke she loved to tell at dinner parties. She would laugh and say, "Oh, I suppose I'll end my days in the poorhouse." Everyone would laugh. She would laugh. It was just a joke, right? The subconscious did not laugh. It wrote it down, and then it went to work making it true. Year by year, her fortune dwindled, her comforts vanished, her security crumbled, until one day she found herself living in exactly the conditions she had laughed about for years. She had spoken her own prophecy under the mask of humor, and the law, faithful and unwavering, had simply honored her words. This is not meant to frighten you. This is meant to free you, because if wrong words have the power to destroy your supply, then right words have the power to restore it. Instantly. The same law that has worked against you can begin working for you tonight. The moment you change what you call money, instead of saying, "I can't afford it," say this: "It comes to me under grace." Instead of saying, "Money never stays with me," say this: "Money multiplies and increases as it serves me." Instead of saying, "There's never enough," say this: "I am supplied ahead of time in perfect ways." Feel the difference? One set of words is a curse. The other is a command. Both go into the subconscious. Both come back as your life. Choose which harvest you want. Now let me tell you something that took one of my students completely by surprise. She came to me frustrated, exhausted. She had been doing her affirmations every morning for months. She would stand in front of her mirror and speak words of abundance, beautiful words, true words. And yet her purse stayed light and her bills stayed heavy. I asked her one simple question. What do you say the rest of the day? She went quiet. Then slowly she confessed. Throughout the day, she would tell her friends, I'm so broke, it's not even funny. She would complain, everything costs too much. She would sigh on the phone. I just can't manage. I looked at her and said gently, My dear, you are planting roses in the morning and weeds in the afternoon. Which do you think will cover your garden? She wept, because in that moment she saw it clearly. She saw her own hand reaching into her own field and pulling out everything good she had planted. 5 minutes of truth buried under 23 hours of lies. Here is what I told her to do. I told her to guard her tongue like a watchman guards a city gate, not to go silent, not to pretend, but to catch herself in the very moment a false word was rising and to substitute it, swap it, replace it instantly with the truth. When fear whispered, I can't afford it, she said instead, God is my instant and lavish supply. When her lips were about to say, it never comes, she said instead, money is on its way to me right now. When her heart wanted to complain, she declared instead, I am supplied, I am free, I am abundant. And then something beautiful happened. Within weeks, the evidence appeared. Not from struggling, not from grinding, but from alignment, from speaking rightly. The roses she planted with her tongue began to overwhelm the weeds, and her life began to bloom. Now here is something I want you to sit with. Debt. Where does it really begin? Most people think debt begins at a bank, or on a credit card, or in a moment of desperation. But I tell you the truth, debt is spoken into existence long before it is signed on paper. Every time you sigh, I'm always behind, you write debt into your story. Every time you groan, I owe everyone and I'll never catch up, you carve it deeper. The bill collectors you fear, the empty wallet, the mounting balance. These are not the problem. These are the echo. The problem is the words that called them into being. I counseled a man once who worked tirelessly, earned well, and yet he could never, ever get ahead. I sat with him and listened to how he talked, and within minutes, I understood everything. He said, I'm always behind. He said, I owe everybody. He said it so naturally, so casually, as if it were simply the truth about him, as if it were his name. I said to him, you have named yourself debtor, and life is simply being faithful to the name you gave it. He stared at me. He had never once considered that his words were not just descriptions of his reality, they were the creators of it. I gave him a new decree. Every day he was to look at himself and say, God is my supply. I live in abundance. I pay all men, and all men pay me. I am free from debt by divine right, under grace, in perfect ways. He said it when he believed it. He said it when he didn't believe it. He said it until the believing caught up with the speaking. Within a year he was free, completely, unexpectedly, in ways no financial advisor could have planned, because the route had changed, the words had changed, and when words change, worlds change. Now, I want to show you something extraordinary. There is a tool hiding in plain sight in every home, every bathroom, every hallway, a tool so powerful it can fuse your decree with your very identity until the two become inseparable, until abundance is not something you are waiting for, but something you simply are. It is your mirror. When you look into a mirror, you are not just seeing your face, you are seeing the image your subconscious holds of you, and whatever that image is paired with, whatever word sits beside your reflection day after day, the subconscious absorbs it, joins it to you, says this is who I am, and then it goes to work making the outer world match the inner picture. Write a word on your mirror. One word. Wealth, abundance, supply, something bold and real and true. And then every morning when you look at yourself, do not just see your face. See yourself as that word. Speak it. Feel it. Let a real smile cross your lips because of it. Let joy rise in your chest for even one moment. That is the Trinity, the word you see, the voice that speaks it, the feeling that seals it. When those three come together, the subconscious has no choice but to accept it as your reality. And reality has no choice but to rearrange itself around your identity. I knew a woman who did this. Just this simple practice. She wrote one word on her mirror, wealth, in bold letters. She did not strain or beg. She simply looked at herself every morning and every evening with that word beside her face, and she let it sink in. She let it become her. Within 1 week, a check arrived in her hands, $50,000, a gift she had never imagined from a direction she never expected. The world called it coincidence. I call it law. Now I must warn you of something that quietly destroys more demonstrations than open disbelief ever could. Something so subtle most people never see it happening. It is this: the voices of others. Once you have written your word, once you have sealed your decree, do not announce it to the world. Do not carry it to the dinner table and lay it out for everyone to examine. Do not hand your tender seed to cold hands. A farmer does not dig up his seed every morning to show his neighbors it is still there. He covers it, he waters it, he protects it until it is strong enough to survive the open air. Your decree is a seed, and doubt from others is frost. It can kill a sprout before you ever see it break ground. I had a student who felt her faith rising beautifully. She was doing everything right, guarding her tongue, speaking her word, feeling her thanksgiving. But she could not resist telling her friends. At every gathering she would announce, "I am speaking the word for money. I am calling abundance to me." And her friends, well-meaning but unbelieving, would raise their eyebrows. "Has it worked yet? Isn't that a bit far-fetched? Are you sure that's how it works?" Every word of doubt hit her subconscious like a stone hitting a still pond, ripples spreading outward, disturbing everything. Her faith withered. Her demonstration stopped. Later, when she learned to hold her word in silence, to keep it between herself and God, everything changed. The seed was protected, the root grew deep, and then the harvest came, visible and undeniable. Secrecy is not weakness. Secrecy is wisdom. Keep your decree close. Keep it sacred. And when the evidence appears, when the money comes, when the walls fall down, then let your voice ring out, because by then, no one can deny it. Now, there is one more force you must understand, because it is the force that either keeps your seed dry in the ground or brings the rain that makes it burst into life. Thanksgiving. Not the thanksgiving of someone who has already received. The thanksgiving of someone who knows it is already done. This is where most people misunderstand prayer. They wait for the evidence before they rejoice. But evidence follows rejoicing. It does not precede it. Gratitude is not the response to the miracle. Gratitude is the act that creates it. When you look at your word on the mirror and you smile, not because the money is in your hand yet, but because you know it is already flowing toward you, you send a signal to the universe so powerful that nothing can hold your good back. You are saying, "I believe, I receive, it is done." And the law answers, "So be it." I once had a student come to me with only $2 to her name. Desperate, afraid. I did not tell her to make more money. I told her to bless what she had, to look at that small amount and call it her magic purse, to see it in her imagination overflowing, jammed full, abundant, to give thanks for it as if it were already the 10,000 she needed. She obeyed. She rejoiced over $2 with genuine gratitude. And soon after, $6,000 arrived in ways she could not have manufactured. Gratitude had fertilized the seed, and the harvest came running. So make Thanksgiving your daily practice. Every time you pass your mirror, point to your word and whisper, "I praise you, I thank you, it is already mine." Feel the joy, even for one breath, even for one heartbeat. That feeling is the rain on your seed. And seeds that receive rain always, always break through. Now let me speak to the deepest place in you. The place that has heard all of this and still holds back. The place that says, "But who am I to claim such things? Is it not selfish? Is it not prideful? Is it not somehow wrong to speak to money with authority, to call abundance by name, to command supply?" I know that voice. I have heard it in countless souls who came to me bound not by poverty, but by permission. Permission they were waiting for that never came. And so let me give it to you plainly. You were not born to beg. You were not created to scrape. You did not arrive in this world as an accident of chance with nothing written into your design. You came with a blueprint, a divine, perfect, complete blueprint that includes your supply. Not just your purpose and your gifts and your relationships, but your money, your abundance, your freedom. It is already yours. It has always been yours. The only thing that has kept it from you is the name you gave it. And the only thing standing between you and the life you were born to live is the decree you have not yet spoken. What the world calls forbidden, God calls forgotten. The treasures are not locked away from you. They are simply sealed, waiting for the right word. Like the ancient story where the cave of treasure would not yield to hammers or ropes or brute force. It only opened to a decree. Open sesame, the right word, the right name. Your abundance is in that cave, and you already hold the key on your tongue. So here, right now, before this moment passes, let us seal the word together. Say it with me. Speak it not as a plea, but as a proclamation. Not as a hope, but as a homecoming. Money, you are divine. You are obedient. You come to me now by divine right, under grace, in perfect ways. You serve me and you cannot enslave me. I am not your prisoner. I am your master. And I call you now by your true name. Abundance, supply, mine. Say it again, louder in your spirit. Let it echo through every chamber of your being. Let the subconscious record it in letters that cannot fade. And then tonight, write the word on your mirror. Just one word, bold and clear where you cannot miss it. Where your own face will greet it every morning, where your reflection and your decree become one. And do not discuss it, do not doubt it, do not dig it up to check if it is growing. Simply guard it, bless it, give thanks for it, and watch as the channels open, the walls of lack now crumble, the debts dissolve. The supply rushes in, not because you begged for it, but because you called it, and it finally heard its true name on your lips. This is not magic. This is law. The same law that governs the stars and the seasons and the tides. The law that says every seed bears fruit after its kind. You have been sowing without knowing. Now you will sow with intention. And the harvest you have been waiting for your entire life will come, not as a distant dream, but as the natural and inevitable consequence of the word you dare to speak. Go now. Write the word, seal the decree. Give thanks before the evidence appears, and know, with the calm certainty of one who has found the ancient key, that money answers to its name, and the name you speak tonight will shape the rest of your life.